The structure, the system is ours. You know, we are constantly changing things, and we are capable of doing those changes. And in this transitional period that we are in, we're in a technological process. And, you know, it's like during the Henry Ford period, when the Ford came out, you know, the mass production system started. We're in that transition period, economically and historically. And so we need to make sure that we protect everybody and not protect the billionaires or the, you know, the folks that are going to be making, we're in a business that's going to be the first, what do you call those, zillionaires or whatever the hell they are now? No, that's ridiculous. We have a system that is screwed up. It is messed up, and we've got to change it. Imagine change. Thank you.
That's fantastic. You spoke to the idea of hope. We only have time for one more question, and it is from, and thank you everybody for submitting your questions. I'm sorry that we couldn't get to all of them. We have a question from Andrew Hackett that we want to end on that speaks to the issue of hope that you brought up. How are you all practicing and promoting hope during this strange time that we're in? And who would like to jump in on that first? Sharon, go ahead.
Well, I think so many of us have been reading the Seattle Times about the loss of affordable housing, but also the loss of the Black population in the central area. You know, every time you pick up the paper, it talks about the phenomenal rent increases. Like the central area had one of the, you know, largest rent increases. And also there's so much market rate development. There's like hundreds of market rate housing because all of a sudden everybody discovered that the central area is like, you know, you can just walk downtown, right? So everyone sort of gave up on the central area. Okay, you know, the Black population went from 70% to 15%, and African Americans have moved to South King County, and all, you know, let's just give up. It's like we lost the war right on this. But surprisingly, we had a coalition of Black clergy and community organizations that came together to fight back. Reverend Jeffrey from the New Hope Baptist Church and a number of other pastors, Reverend Willis from True Vine, and they got together and said, we're going to fight back. We're going to start using church property to develop affordable housing. And we're going to go to city council and the mayor and say, look, we are not leaving. We're not going to sell church property to a market rate developer. We're here to stay, and we're going to use our community assets, and we're going to employ community control of our land. And that's what the story is now, that we can create 1,000 new affordable housing in the central area with, you know, Africa Town, with the New Hope Baptist Church, with True Vine, with Spirit Village. You know, like Spirit Village is on land owned by the TC, you know, the Christ Spirit Church. And then we also have other churches that want to stay in place and not give up the fight and recreate a community that can be a supportive community for African Americans and other people of color, and not get resigned to the fact that we're all giving up. So I think there is hope, and that hope needs to, you know, be supported by the mayor and council, and our, you know, so what was redlined, right? A neighborhood that was redlined is now all this money is pouring in for market rate development, but we can transform that so that housing gets built, affordable housing gets built for the community itself and not for other people.
Thank you so much for that, Sharon. Nikkita, any closing thoughts on the subject of hope?
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna be transparent. This time period has definitely been one that is exhausting, and the devastation is real. You know, we have an immense opportunity right now to stand on the right side of history, whether we're talking about ensuring our relatives that don't have homes are well taken care of and have the opportunity to come inside if they want. Whether we're talking about stopping the sweeps or mutual aid or defunding the police or dismantling the criminal punishment system, I think as a society, we're really seeing an impasse to decide whether or not we're going to.
Looks like Nikkita froze. I'm sorry about that. Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Internet. To decide whether or not we're going to continue investing in exploitative systems. You know, MLK said at some point we're going to ask why are there 40 million Americans without homes, living in poverty, and it's 2020, and we're still asking those same questions. And the question we're really asking is, why are we still so invested in capitalism? And so my hope is in the people who organize. It's in the people who stay on the front lines and who are willing to speak truth to power. So movements give me hope.
Thank you so much. Juan, brief thoughts on hope in closing?
Yeah, you know, Washington State was the place where one of the greatest Mexicano heroes was incarcerated here in McNeil Island. His name was Ricardo Flores Magón. And Ricardo Flores Magón organized and helped work with Wobblies at that time. And he later was moved to Illinois, where he died of supposedly pneumonia. But he worked with a whole bunch of white folks, Italians, Germans, Dutch, that went and helped take over the city of Tijuana against the Mexican army in support of the Mexican Revolution. In short, I was really inspired by the fact that so many white folks came out and sustained a campaign of support for their own rights as human beings during the Floyd matter issue and during this whole process. So that gives me hope that people are awakening to the hatred, the amount of pain that capitalism can inflict on people. And people are ready for a change. The people out in the communities are just up to here with the way we've been conducting our police force, our banks, our everything within our society, our healthcare. You know, we have, and that's what gives me hope, is that folks, the people in our community are actually the people that are pushing the change that we are looking for. And that in itself, to me, is, you know, and the fact that it's such a young population that is coming out, that in itself helps me, because, I mean, at my age, it's time to kind of, you know, slow down a little bit. But so it gives me the hope that I can pull back and the world will be all right.
That's fantastic. Hey, Juan, would you mind typing in the name of that Chicano IWW organizer that you referenced in the chat window for those of us who would like to follow up and learn more about this guy?
Of course.
Thank you so much to everybody who participated this morning, but especially our panelists. I wish that we could continue this conversation for a little while longer, but we are out of time. So appreciate all of you so very much, and your amazing work that each and every one of you are doing in our community, and your history of amazing work. I'm inspired by every one of you. Thank you again to our generous sponsors, including the Lucky 7 Foundation, who again is matching gifts of $250 or more. If you haven't made your gift yet, once again, that where you go to do that is tinyurl.com, tinyurl.com/imaginechange2020. This week is all about coming together to support real change. helping us meet our vital goal of raising $146,000 and some change. We're about 2/3 of the way there. We need your help. Please be as generous as you can. Please like and follow us on social media to see the incredible messages from our vendors of the year, volunteers of the year, the Change Agent Award winner, and others. Thank you again so much for joining us and imagining change together. And we're going to bring this to a close. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Tim.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Sharon and Nikkita. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. Support real change.
Real change, for sure.